The new year is about to commence, and as we say goodbye to not just this year but also this decade, some of the greatest magicians who have mystified people with their amazing talent are on display. So, be it the top dangerous tricks which scared you, or the top most got talent acts around the world. Hello and welcome back, and today we'll recap some of the top magic reveals of the year. So, let's get started.
At number 3, Splitting in Half Illusion. When it comes to cutting innocent women in half and creating a fearsome illusion, Criss Angel is the best. Now, this illusion by Criss Angel is not for the faint-hearted, and even more so for people who can't figure out this trick. Let's look at the trick first. Criss asks a lady and a guy to lie down on a park bench, and then he performs a similar trick on both of them. For the lady, he asks two other spectators to hold her arms and legs and pull her forcibly in their direction. When they do this, the woman's body seemingly splits into two parts as she screams in pure horror, thus shocking everyone around. So, how did he perform such a shocking illusion? Well, here's the secret. This trick was performed in less than 5 minutes, which was seen in the video footage broadcast to the TV audience. But the real recording took far longer, almost 4 to 5 hours long, which is evident if you observe the shadows around. Yes, if you look closely, here you can see the shadow from the tree does not cover the trash can, the woman, or any part of the sidewalk. But just 30 seconds later, the shadow can be seen covering all three, i.e. the trash can, the woman, and the part of the sidewalk. This confirms that it was not a continuous shot, but took more than 3 to 4 hours to stage the performance. And in between that time, a lot of suspicious things happened. Let's try to decode it even further. There are not just 2 people, but in fact 4 people required for this trick. The initial lady and guy are actors and have 100% normal bodies. Plus, there are 2 torso doubles, one each for the lady and the guy. The word torso is used for people who have only a torso and no legs, which may be due to an injury or a condition. And of course, the actors and their torso doubles look similar. Now just see how the spectators run around in crazy ways once the body split happened. Now, who acts this way? Yes, they are all paid actors and are in on this trick. Since the same trick was performed on both the lady and the guy, let's reveal the trick performed on the lady, and you can apply the same for the guy as well. To start off, the lady walks over and lies on the bench. Notice how she stays lying down and never sits up. This is to allow a seamless camera cut to her body double. Now coming to the camera cut and the moment where the exchange happened, the lady was replaced off-screen with her torso double with mechanical legs placed on the bench. And this switch happened at exactly this camera cut, and the torso double was connected with the mechanical legs by some harness that Criss disconnects when he thumps her waist. This was done to make sure it looks as if Criss had split a single person and would look real to you. You can even notice the legs of that lady are thinner after the split, as Criss used mechanical legs, and the movement of those legs was controlled by one of his assistants. After the split, the torso lady screams and acts dramatically. Her face also doesn't get much screen time because she is not the original lady. Also, if we pause the video, you can see how different the torso guy looks compared to the original guy. That's why he needed sunglasses to cover it up. And for the last part of the trick where they were joined again, it all happened in between the camera cut, where the original guy and that lady exchanged the dress, which created the illusion as if their lower body has been wrongly attached. So, hope you got the explanation for this trick, and hats off to Criss Angel for making us believe in this crazy illusion.
At number 2, the bow and arrow trick. The second trick in our list is by none other than Aaron Crow, a very popular magician known for his dangerous acts. And here's what he did on America's Got Talent and many other shows which scared everyone around. By pointing laser light onto the judges panel, Aaron first calls upon 2 judges on stage to be his volunteers for the trick. He then asks Heidi, one of the judges, to take out her ring and be ready for his next move. Thereafter, he takes out an apple and using a knife, pierces it through its center. He puts Heidi's ring inside that apple and then closes it. Once the ring is secured, Aaron instructs the guest judge to stand behind Heidi. He also hands him a black wooden tray with a nail inserted on it. Now, as the guest judge stands behind Heidi, he holds a wooden tray on her head that is supporting the apple and the ring. Aaron then walks around the stage, reveals the target object, and takes out an arrow. He then points the bow and arrow with a laser light through the crowd, which invokes a lot of fear. Aaron then begins to spin in circles, and all of a sudden, he shoots the arrow, and what do we see? The apple is instantly cut in half. Not only did Aaron shoot the apple, the arrow even picked up a ring inside the apple on the way and landed on the target board. So, how did he do it? Well, to begin with, you should never try this sort of stuff at home or anywhere else. Now, coming to the secret, it's pretty obvious that no arrow was shot, and all you saw in the act was just an illusion. Also, why would the producers of the show put someone's lives at risk? So, from the pure perspective of entertainment and illusion, the producers of the show are told what the contestants are going to do before the act to make sure they have the dangerous stunts sorted out. Also, if you see carefully, it was not a continuous shot when the arrow was fired. It was like one frame the bow releases, one frame the apple is cut in half, and in one frame the arrow hits the target. This implies that at every stage, there's a mechanism which made this act possible. Now, as there was no arrow shot, how did the arrow end up on the target board? Well, both the bow and the arrow used for the act were gimmicked. Also, if you see here, the laser flashlight is coming out of the bow and is used for the purpose of aiming at the target, which the viewers thought so. However, its main purpose was to hide the secret hidden inside the bow. Yes, the secret lies in that bow, and also the arrowhead didn't go past beyond the bow and only the laser light went through. Also, this laser light created the illusion that the arrowhead was present there, and Aaron did shoot it when the light turned off. Now you'd ask, if there was no arrow shot, then what about this arrow? Where did it go? Well, as we said before, the arrow he picked up is a gimmick arrow, made up of a string with a feather at the end of it to make it look like a real arrow. Also, hidden inside the handle of the bow is a cylindrical reel, and the string was connected onto that spring-loaded reel. And now you must have got it. When Aaron fires the shot, he releases the loose end of the string as it rolls into the hidden reel. But what about the arrow at the target board? Well, the arrow that appeared after the shot was already placed inside the leg of the target board all this while. It was hidden behind the black cloth using a spring mechanism. Here you can see that there's an opening in the cloth where the spring-loaded arrow was resting vertically against the board. Now, when triggered by a remote, the spring-loaded arrow pops out of the opening to its horizontal position. Also, notice the angular movement of the arrow when it vibrates after hitting the target. Now, this isn't the movement of the arrow hitting straight at the target. This confirms that the arrow popped out from the opening below. Also, the arrow at the target had Heidi's ring. Where did it come from? Was it a fake ring? No, it was Heidi's actual ring, as she would have easily noticed it if it was a fake one. Now for this part, we also need to look at the apple. After Aaron pierces the apple, you can see he digs the apple in such a way that its one side hole is bigger than the other side. Now he puts the ring inside the smaller hole, which convinces everyone that the ring is placed tightly inside and cannot be taken out easily. But as you know, there's a bigger hole at the other end, and during this moment, when he covers the center portion of the apple, the ring is actually pushed out through the bigger hole, which he conceals using his right-hand thumb. Also, when he is seen placing the apple, the ring is hidden in his left-hand fist. Now you know it. The ring is in Aaron's hand, and during the moment when he adjusts the target board, he puts that ring over the arrow, with his hand hidden behind the board and concealed using a black cloth. But there's one question still unanswered. How did the apple split in pieces? Well, the tray on which the apple was placed had a built-in mechanism at its bottom. A spring-loaded knife was placed underneath, which moved from left to right when triggered by a remote. Now, this made the apple to split perfectly in parts, as the knife came out through the opening under the apple. And this is how the apple was cut in half. So, the whole act was perfectly synchronized using a button hidden inside the bow, and was triggered by Aaron just at the right time, which made this awesome illusion possible. So finally, the number one trick on our list, Magus Utopia's Fantasy Illusion. Yes, the name says it all. Magus Utopia, the brainchild of Marcel and co-creator Akia Jr., set the Britain's Got Talent stage on fire with their amazing skills, which surprised millions around the world. Here's what they did. The person named Marcel first settles down for a night's sleep before all these following horrific things pan out. Just when everyone's wondering what's going to happen, Marcel covers himself with a blanket, and all of a sudden, a woman dressed as a witch appears, thus shocking them all. The rest of the troupe goes on to pull off a dazzling display of magic, in which the witch ignites a fire on the stage, and what do we see? Marcel appears again on the stage, but this time in a yellow-colored dress. But oh no, the witch and his troupe want to kill Marcel. They get a hold of him, put him inside that cage, and wrap the cage around. The cage is then lifted up, and they all go for a kill. They start stabbing the cage with spears with Marcel present inside it. And finally, the cage is burnt on fire. After all this mayhem, Marcel is brought back again in a wonderful scene where he wakes up from his horrifying dream. Amazing, isn't it? But how do they do all this insane stuff? Well, we've figured out the secret, and here's how they did it. To make it easy to understand, we'll divide the performance in 3 parts. First, the man turning into a witch. Second, getting him back again through the fire. And finally, imprisoning him, stabbing and setting the cage on fire, and then getting him back again. Now, for the first part, how does that fearsome witch appear out of nowhere? Well, the secret lies in that bed, which forms the key part of the trick. If you notice carefully, you'll see the curvature beneath the bed. This implies that there's enough space beneath the bed for a person or two. Also, the bed is designed in such a way that it has a compartment at its back, which can be opened easily to fit a whole person inside it. Now, when did that switch happen? Well, if you see the video footage, there was a moment where this masked man distracted the presenters at the side of the stage. He did this on purpose so they would not let him see the fearsome woman coming out of that secret compartment. However, the camera caught this very moment, and you can see in this particular shot, someone appeared behind Marcel's back hidden under the blanket. Now you must have got it. She's the fearsome witch who came out of that secret compartment, as visible in this scene as she's hidden under the blanket. Now in a very quick time, she exchanges position with Marcel and he quickly gets inside the secret bed compartment. Finally, the fearsome witch is revealed, thus shocking everyone around. Now coming to the second part of the trick. After she was revealed to the audience and everyone who's busy wondering, if you look carefully, her assistants carried that bed and joins it with the platform. The bed is now rotated and positioned on the platform in such a way that the foot of the bed fits on the platform and the platform is now under the bed. Now it's easy. Marcel first emerges out through the secret opening under the bed and gets inside the platform compartment, which too has a similar hiding place with enough space to fit a person. After playing around some time and making sure everything's sorted, she ignites the stage on fire, thus revealing Marcel to the audience. But there's one catch. What happened to his previous colored clothing? Well, the yellow clothing which he's wearing was already worn by him from the very start of the trick, which you can make out by observing his collar, where you can see a yellow collar under it. Now for the final part. When everyone's busy watching Marcel get attacked, the assistants bring another platform with a cage placed above it. Then you know it, they kick him inside the cage, wraps the cage all around with a black covering until the cage is fully covered. Now the assistants drag the platform next to the bed so that they can take out Marcel from the bottom of the cage and hide it inside the bed compartment. And here's how it was done. During this moment, Marcel gets out of that cage and fits inside the secret compartment underneath the cage platform. Now the assistants suspend the cage in the air, take the platform back, and joins it with the bed. Then they start stabbing the cage with spears. But now you know it, since the platform is now embedded in the bed, Marcel leaves that platform and goes back inside the bed compartment. And finally, when the bed is covered with a blanket, Marcel comes out of the secret hideout and reappears back in the bed unharmed, much to the panel's amazement. So guys, hope you enjoyed the top magic reveals of the year. Do you agree with our list? And which one is your favorite trick reveal of the year? Also, which trick, according to you, should have made this list? Let us know in the comments below.